we were talking about price earlier, right? It's funny that we say that it was Myeongdong night market was so expensive, but if you look at in reality, when you go to like a food festival here in the States,
Mm-hmm.
yo, everything you should eat is like $10 minimum.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So
10 to 15.
10 to 15 just for like a simple. I remember we went to the Asia festival.
You know
right?
what? We can relate it to it with something that everyone knows. Smorgasbord.
Okay, smorgasbord. Yes.
Because they have that in New York. They have that in LA.
Yeah.
If you
Bro.
guys in those two, you know what the prices are like.
Yeah, they'd be crazy. Crazy. And then think about it, even though that we say Myeongdong night market is more expensive on the more expensive side, it's still relatively cheap because most things were 10,000 won per
Exactly.
one item,
Yeah.
which comes out to like I think like $8,
Yep.
which is still probably like half of what you would pay at a food festival here in America.
Mm-hmm.
So is it expensive? I think it's expensive in Korea terms when you take into account the smaller markets and more for locals. But when it comes to America, it's still cheap, like OD cheap. I think just like everything, just food in general in Korea is so cheap. Cause like we were talking about ramen earlier, right? Yo, I had ramen in Korea and it wasn't even from a ramen shop. Okay. We went to down in Busan. If you guys are near Gwanganli Beach, there's this restaurant down there. It's called Ambok. Okay.
Write that down, guys. Write that down.
Ambok. It is on the Michelin guide list for Korea. And when I went there, my expectation was, you know what, this is probably kind of overrated. It's a Michelin guy. It's probably gonna be like too clean or something, or like too fancy, whatever. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I love Tejukupap and I love Gupap, right? That was probably one of the best things I had the entire trip. The entire trip. And it was like I said, I've noticed that this is a side tangent. Things in Korea, and I think this might be in other countries as well. The best restaurants, when they specialize something, they do just that.
Yep.
And then the menus are so simple, like couple items, and like everything is like related to that one item, and they just sell that, and they just do it so freaking well. I went to a couple of Gupap restaurants, and they all just sold that, or like maybe some other variations, and yeah, they did that thing so freaking well. Whereas like in America, you go to one restaurant, they have like 1,000 different things.
Yeah.
So a master of none, but
A jack of all trades, a master of none.
yeah, but I think that like a lot of these restaurants, they just focus on one little thing. Because whenever we want to go, they specialize in this. We specialize in this. They specialize in this, and I think that just elevates it even more. But going back to this Ambok place, they specialize in Tejukupap, and they're on the Michelin guide. Yo, that thing was absolutely sensational. We were on Naver. Naver is a hack. I love that. Love Naver. Freaking live by that for the whole entire trip. But do you know what Tejukupap is?
I don't explain it for the people though.
So Tejukupap is kind of like
Say it a little slower. Say one more. What is it again? What is it?
It's Tejukupap.
Tejukupap.
I might be saying it wrong because I'm not Korean, but I had it 4 times in Korea. It was so good. Okay, 4 times. Basically, it's kind of like it's like a stew. It comes in a stone pot. Has like a very pork based, very clean type of pork broth. But the thing is, here in the States, sometimes you get that like kind of like gamey, porky smell. And it's kind of like maybe like not seasoned as well. Seasoned good. I've had it a couple times here in the States and I still like it. But there they take it to a whole different level. The broth was so rich, so much depth.
Is that the thing we got at the market that was in the noodle alley?
No, that wasn't. That's
Okay.
kalguksu.
Okay, go ahead. My bad. Continue.
So the broth was so rich, so deep, so clean, not greasy at all. So sometimes you get like pork broth kind of greasy, no grease at all, very clean, like ran like water, right? And then the pork belly melt in your mouth. I understand why it's on the Michelin guide. I don't understand why it's not doesn't have a Michelin star. And while we were there, they had the ramen. They had ramen there, hand pulled ramen. And they had the pork belly that came in the same thing, the broth that came with it, but it's a little bit different, a little bit more, I think more salty, a little bit, it has a little bit more savior, is that right? Savorier, flavor palette to it. The Tejukupap is a little bit more on the mild side. You kind of season yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit like not as different type of flavor, but a little cleaner.
So it's like sulungtang?
Similar. It's very similar. You flavor it yourself, you
Yeah.
know. But for something that so simple, not really simple at all, because the broth was probably stewed for hours and days. It was so deep, and then it just creates so much more depth. One of the best things I had, top three. Yeah, I had the ramen, man. That was the best ramen I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Flavor. I know when I say it's like last time I said it's too clean and everything like that. Yo, that was clean, but it had so much depth. Texture was amazing. Great. And guess what? This was a Michelin guide restaurant, and every item was 10,000 won. So it came out, I think we had ordered 5 things. 5 of the teju kebabs, a whole extra platter of the pork belly, and then the ramen, and it came out to like 30 something thousand won. So like $30 for like 5 dishes. Crazy. I mean, I guess we can go on to what else we have. We had the Guangzhou market,
We had Guangzhou market,
Namdae Moon market.
Nande Moon market. We had, what was that thing? We had kalguksu as a group.
Oh.
And this, I always want to bring this up when you said it was not heavy. One, I want to preface, I understand kalguksu is not a heavy dish, right? But we got kalguksu, 2 bottles of soju, makgeolli, dumplings, the rice, extra vegetables on the side. Is that everything we had?
Oh, you're talking about we had that on Thursday night.
On Thursday night.
Oh, when we were in Jamsil. We
Yeah,
were in
Jamsil.
Jamsil. We went to Lotte World, and then afterwards, our buddy said he wanted to go check out this kalguksu restaurant.
Yes.
And yeah, it was like the kalguksu like casserole. They came out in like shabu shabu style, and basically they give you some meat. What you do with that, and then you put the kalguksu in there, and then after you're done, they turn into fried rice. We had dumplings and everything. How much you guys think that was?
And also, two bottles of soju, 1 bottle of makgeolli.
Yeah. I feel like in the States, that comes out to like over $100.
Easily.
Over
150.
Yeah, 150 easily. But there, it was like, it came out to like 70,000 won. So
50?
Like $50.
50, $60 for all of that,
$50
guys.
for 4 people. Huge casserole.
And I was stuffed. Not stuffed. I was satisfied.